It's a Wednesday, not a Thursday. A little weird, but it feels right because we're all together. We're here for some NFL pick'ems. We're going to talk about last week, talk about this week, what we didn't like last week, what we liked this week, and what we liked last week. Why not? Jameis Winston. We'll talk about that. We'll get there. But how you guys doing? It's all four of us. I mean, it's got to be a special event, So, what's up?
Dude, I'm feeling buttery. I'm just happy that the whole gang's here. Like the SpongeBob meme, the gang's all here. It feels great.
I got Chip. I got Penny. I got
and use napkin.
Use napkin?
Who's use napkin?
I prefer use napkin.
Probably will.
Okay, as long as it wasn't me.
You can be Penny.
Jamil. Oh, I thought Jamil was Chip.
You're SpongeBob if you're leading everything. So
yeah, I mean,
I think RJ looks more like a Chip. I'd call him Chip.
All right.
Yeah.
I could call you Chip. I feel like your name could just be Chip.
Pringle.
Hey, Pringle. Pringle Chip.
Chip Pringle.
Oh, my
There's probably a
God.
guy out there like that somewhere. But
This show has fallen off the rails, and we've been live for less than 2 minutes.
quick downfall.
Wow.
To say the least. But we're going to pick it right back up here. We'll talk about last week. We'll start with records. It wasn't a amazing week for anybody. Jamil's in the lead though, 10-6.
Lead dog. Lead dog, baby.
Start Jamil with the lead dog. Will in second, 9-7. Just one game behind. Then me and RJ somehow went twinsies on this one, going 6-10. Already a few games out of the out of first. So we have
like a repeat of last year, fellas.
Well, listen, you start at the bottom. There's only one way to go, and that's up. So
you said that last year, and I think you finished it last.
Hold up, folks. Here we go. Let's start off right.
Yeah.
there it is.
Jamil, the lead dog. We got to bust it out. Jamil, lead dog right there. We'll get rid of it. We got a new lead dog right here. Jamil, lead dog after week one. Definitely. Congratulations, brother. Had to bust the pick back out. Oh, God. Who doesn't love that?
I've seen on the internet.
You were so ready for it.
It's amazing. His ears look like it's real. Oh, my God. It's perfect.
Years. This is great stuff, though. But, I mean, we'll go over to week one before we head into this week's current events. We'll talk about the Islands. Will, you went with the Jets.
Yeah, I did. I can't say I didn't do that. Yeah, that happened. I was feeling good. Jamil and I, we got to talk a little bit about the AFC East, and I was feeling really good about the Jets. I love their offseason. Thought they had an amazing draft, one of the best drafts among all the teams. But hey, those guys have to get acclimated to the league a little bit. And at the end of the day, it's still the Jets. And the Panthers, though they're not the greatest of teams, they're still good enough. And so they're not a bottom tier team, but I took a bottom tier team to upset. I mean, it's week one. There's no telling what could happen, and I went for it, and it was a reach. But
yeah,
hey, we all took the Ravens, so it could have been worse.
Hey, I mean, we all took the Ravens. We all took the Jaguars. We all took the Titans and lost.
Packers.
Don't we all take the Vikings too?
We all took the Packers.
No, we did not all take the Packers.
No,
we did not all take the Packers.
You took the Saints. That's right.
Jamil took the Saints, and it worked out. Jamil, talk to us a little bit about what you saw Sunday, a little bit more about Jameis Winston, because that was
Jameis Winston was in his duffel, his bag, his Louis. He was going crazy on the Packers secondary. He was throwing deep balls, throwing short passes. LASIK Jameis looks like he might be a problem, but I'm a little alarmed with what we saw from the Packers, but I'm not gonna worry too much. I think they're gonna be able to bounce back here really soon. So look to see Aaron Rodgers play a whole game this week.
Yeah, I mean, you'd like to think he'll stay in against the Lions. It's Monday Night Football. People are tuning in to see him, and if you get taken out against the Lions, you got a big problem. So hopefully we see the right Aaron Rodgers.
Here you go. Minnesota will be 0-17 and 16-1. There you go.
Another island I flopped on the Colts. I thought I could set myself apart with that one. And what was the final score of that game? Can anybody remind me?
28-17 or something like that.
So it was close, right? It wasn't
It wasn't a bad game. I didn't hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I tried it and I failed. So I have a few more islands this week, which obviously we'll get into later, that might be more questionable than this one, but we'll talk about that when we get there. A couple more splits. Me and RJ flopping on the Giants. Denver taking the big victory there.
Denver.
I still don't hate the Giants. I still think they have good pieces, at least offensively.
Yeah, I thought they did too till
They
I
have
saw them play
great
the
pieces
Broncos.
minus one particular position, and this happens to matter the most.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to a coworker earlier, and I was telling him Daniel Jones could easily get Trubisky and become a backup on a good team. Because this is his third year, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So if this doesn't go, I could totally see him getting Trubisky and sent off to being.
Yeah, if they stink, he's canned.
He's, next thing you know, he's like Lamar Jackson's backup or something. It wouldn't shock me, honestly. So he has a lot to prove, and he didn't do it week 1. And Thursday Night Football, it's a good chance to do it week 2. I mean, whenever we can get into week 2, whenever you guys want. If you guys have anything else to say about week 1, feel free.
Let me ask a question. I'll start with you, RJ. Obviously we talked about Jameis a little bit, but who else had like a breakout week in your opinion? Who do you think really kind of stepped out and maybe a guy not necessarily known as a star but had an amazing week?
Man, way to put me on the spot there on that one. There's a couple actually, but like Sunday really honestly kind of belonged to Jameis Winston. Like, I know we don't want to just keep talking about the same thing over and over. I get it. But like, I don't know that we can undersell here or oversell how big of a performance that was from Jameis Winston. I mean, you're talking about an offseason where, there's all these questions. He has to compete to be the starting quarterback. He's got a quarterback guru for a head coach in Sean Payton. This team, he looked so good. This wasn't just a guy that had a good game. He was he was so in sync with the rest of that team. Everything just looked so smooth. It looked like he belonged there. I see we got a comment, Jalen Hurts. Yeah, that would be a good one to talk about. That was one of them. Me and Jamil have been very critical of Jalen Hurts because we're big college football guys. I didn't think he could throw a football, but the transition that I've seen from Jalen Hurts going from college to the NFL, he magically somehow figured out how to throw a football, and he actually looks like a very good quarterback now and makes Philadelphia look pretty smart for getting rid of Carson Wentz.
Jamil, I got a question for you. Which rookie looked the best to you early on? Whenever you were watching week 1, who really stood out to you out of the first-year players?
If we're going to talk about the quarterbacks, whole game-wise, I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence. But if you just look at the second half that Zach Wilson had for the Jets, he really impressed me in the second half. He looked a lot more comfortable in the second half. He made a couple of big-time plays. His first touchdown, they happened to lose Mekhi Becton to an injury, which really stinks for them. But he made a couple of good throws. Elijah Moore couldn't come up with one of the deep balls, but I was impressed with what he did in the second half. And the whole game-wise, I watched a lot of that Texans-Jaguars game. And you mentioned the breakout guy. Tyrod Taylor really showed out in that game, just a sidebar. He showed a lot, and Brandon Cooks played really, really well, too. I was impressed with a lot of things that Texans football team did, though just against the Jaguars. But to stay with the rookies, Trevor Lawrence, he looked a little nervous at times. He missed a couple of guys high, missed a couple of balls long, but he showed off his rocket arm on that deep ball to DJ Chark. That was a very great pass. And then as the game went on, they had a couple of bad drops here and there, but I thought he had a very even-keeled game. He has a very, very difficult matchup this week against the Broncos, so we'll see what he does with them. But I was impressed with the second half of Zach Wilson, and the whole game, I was impressed with Trevor Lawrence despite some of the turnovers.
Hello, Andrew. And who the piss is Matt Fields? But anyway, if you guys want to hop into it, Matt, I say we take it away. We hop into week 2.
All right, let's give it a go. Page flip for dramatic effect. We'll start with the islands. You can already see it in front of you. I'm on an island. I hit my tripod. I'm on an island. The Bengals barely got the dub last week, but I did like what I saw from Joe Burrow. I do think the offense, Joe Burrow, and I think the offense can really take advantage against the Bears secondary, which is lacking. I think Will can agree to that. So why not? Why not differentiate myself in a big way? I do think this is one of my bolder picks that I could have possibly made, just as the Bears probably should be heavy favorites, but why not? I'm going to go with the Bengals here just because I think the offense could take advantage for sure.
You hurt my ass to go with the Bengals. I am telling you right now, this hurt me something fierce. This man, I was on the phone with this man when he changed his idea. Like he had Bears and then switched and went to the Bengals. Let's see here. Maddie Stats, I'm in a position to lose my house. I need a lock this weekend. You heard the guy. Maddie Stats, give him a lock. We need a game lock.
Do you watch the lines, Matt? Do you watch the betting lines?
I have no idea how it works. I have no fucking clue. I'd go nowhere near sports books or anything. I've said it in videos before. I'm not a betting man. But if I had to pick a game that was a lock, let me see. Okay, a game that's a lock. I really like
Falcons.
I do like the Bucks against the Falcons.
Cleveland's playing Houston.
That's also a lock. I'm looking through all of them. Okay. Yeah.
What is the line? So those two games actually. What are the point spreads on those two games?
Bucks 12.5, Cleveland
12.5.
They're both 12.5 point favorites.
Ooh.
Oh. Damn.
Honestly, they should both cover.
Give me.
Should.
I'm not Maddie Stats, but give me Bucks 12.5 for your house. I mean, I'll take that game.
Over under's 52. That could hit.
I don't know if I'll take that.
I wouldn't hit. No. I know how over unders work at least. That's a basic.
After watching how the Falcons play, I don't know if I'll take that.
I don't know if they can score.
So I don't think they're gonna hit 52 like combined.
This man said, "My house."
There you go.
Actually, if you gave him a bad bet and then just got his house off of him.
Yeah. So if he loses his house,
I'm
it's
gonna
all
go
on
find
Maddie
his house on
Stats.
Zillow or something.
I hope you got a spare room.
I know,
Matt, you better let him move in.
To this house, so I can at least help you find the next one.
Hey, it's all in how you can help. Jamil, the Bears, why?
They need a bounce back win. I think they can get the win call in this game. Yes, the Bengals managed to win last week in a very, very close game against the Vikings, but I rate the Bears a little bit more than the Vikings right now. And I still have questions about the Bengals' ability to hold up for Joe Burrow. So I would expect Khalil Mack to wake up and have the rest of your D-line make some plays. Yeah, your defense is a little bit soft in the secondary-wise, but I'm looking for you guys to make some plays and hopefully stop the run too, because Joe Mixon had a field day on the Vikings. Leads the league in rushing right now. I'm almost positive. So I think y'all can be able to slow that down. You should be able to win the game. And I hope we see a little bit more of Justin Fields this week.
Hey, there you go. Do we see more of Justin Fields? Hey, right on cue. Scott.
Early, I think we do. I don't know about you.
I mean, he only got 3 snaps. I'd imagine we see more of him. I'd imagine if this is a game, this is honestly, if the Bengals play right, this is a game that they can get ahead early. The Bears should still win this game. And I think if you see the Bengals up at half, you see Justin Fields come in. And I think that might be that might be enough to start it, or we can do what Brandon says and only give him 6 snaps. We'll figure it out. But I think we'll see a little bit more of Justin. We really didn't get much of him this week anyway. But we'll move on to the next one, Matt.
Yeah, this
one.
I
didn't know he was staying with this.
I don't know if this. Yeah, is this legit? RJ, are you trolling? Like, give us some explanation behind this, because this was shocking.
What? Okay. What? Well, let's see. Carolina did win last week. They're 1-0. It's not like this isn't last year's Carolina Panthers. I think this team is definitely a little better than they were last year. But all the hype, this feels like a letdown game for the Saints and for Jameis Winston, because as I just did, and as most of the national media has done, there's been all this hype. What a great week. The 5 touchdowns, all that. I am picking the Panthers, Ty. I think they can win this game. I get it. The Saints looked really good last week. But wouldn't this be the perfect letdown game for them? Wouldn't this be the perfect moment for Jameis Winston, who LASIK Jameis, Jamil, I'm going to start using that. That was beautiful. For LASIK Jameis to go back to being that Tampa Bay Jameis that turned the ball over a lot, wouldn't this be the perfect time to see him kind of flip-flop and go back and forth? I think it would. I think the Panthers can actually win this game. I'm not trolling. I'm not just being a homer. The Panthers aren't great yet. I thought they should have beat the Jets by way more than, I don't know, would they win by like 5, whatever. Yeah, Brandon, you're correct. He didn't break 200 passing yards. So he was very efficient, not over the top elite. He was very efficient. I think if the Panthers can just be efficient as well, you're going to have to force Jameis to make a mistake. The Green Bay Packers did not look like they even wanted to be in Jacksonville for that game. I think the Panthers playing in Charlotte, they want to be there. They're going to play better. I think the Panthers can win this game, and I knew none of you guys were going to pick it. And after I went 6-10 last week, I got to find some dubs somewhere, right?
Hey, you gotta do it, man. You gotta figure it out. I don't blame you. I'll take it. I think it was. I think I'll take it from here. Whenever I saw the Saints play last week, the Packers, they didn't look great, but the Saints really looked like the best team in football last week. I mean, they were efficient. They were efficient on offense and locked down on defense. Now, Aaron Rodgers was doing some absolute bonehead moves that I don't think I've ever seen him do in his time in the NFL. Very uncharacteristic for Aaron Rodgers, the way he played in week 1. Is he throwing the season? Who knows? But he could be. The way he played, it honestly looked like he might be. But I just think the Saints looked complete. And this is kind of shocking me. The spread is only 3.5 for the Saints. I think if you need a lock, that would be my lock. I would go with that. This is kind of primed up for a letdown game, but I still think the Saints, if the Saints played like they played in week 1, they genuinely look like the best team in football after week 1. Obviously, week 1, you don't know everything, and the full story's not there. But after watching them play, I mean, they were nuts. So I thought their defense was locked down. I thought their offensive play was great. Jameis was efficient, not really missing too many passes, not making too terrible of decisions either. I know he got that one ball that was picked, but the flag brought it back. I'm assuming he saw the flag because that throw was kind of but everything else, I mean, it was just a great game. I thought it was a full, complete game by Jameis, and I just thought the Saints looked really well in that game. So, anybody else have anything they want?
The only thing I want to say about that, the Saints are going to be playing against a quarterback who is trying to prove that he belongs in the league, and not a quarterback who's trying to force his way off of his current team. So this is going – yes, the Packers are a better football team than the Panthers. This is going to be a tougher game for the Saints this week.
Fair enough. Matt, back to you.
I don't know who the guy is, but the comment R.J. Kellerman made me laugh. I just think that's really funny.
R.J. Kellerman's a good one.
I don't know who the guy is, but they're hitting the comments tonight. Thank you for keeping me entertained. My next and final island. You don't got to put the screen on me. I mean, come on. The Titans looked really bad last week, but they faced the Cardinals who looked really, really good. And Kyler Murray went off. Chandler Jones had one of the best defensive single-game performances I've seen in quite a while. I mean, 5 sacks. Really put on a show and made Taylor Lewan, who's typically an elite tackle. Elite tackle. Made him look really, really bad. So I am hoping they bounce back. This is now the second week in a row that I've islanded against the Seahawks, which is risky business, obviously. But I'm sticking with my Titans. I do think this will be a bounce-back game, and I think they'll be able to pull out the victory.
Jamil, the Seahawks, speak for us.
All right, well, before the season started, I was pretty adamant that I thought the Seahawks would take the biggest fall out of the team in this division. But early on, we always know Russell Wilson plays like a man possessed in the first few weeks of the season, and he continued that last week against the Colts, a pretty good defense in their own right. Him and Tyler Lockett had their way with them, and I think this week the problem is I don't hate the Tennessee Titans pick, Matt. I think the Tennessee Titans are due to bounce back very soon. I think they're going to put up a way better offensive performance than they did last week, but the problem is that defense going to be able to stop Russell Wilson? We just watched Kyler Murray absolutely destroy them. Who's to say Russell Wilson can't do the same thing? Just the same type of quarterback, a small guy that can really throw and run. He's got a lot of different weapons on that offense, and I think it's just going to be too much offense for him to overcome in this game.
Fair enough. All right, Matt.
All right.
Oh, I thought we all picked Dallas this game.
Yeah. Before we go undisputed with our picks, we do have one split. Jamil and I teaming up for the Chargers, while RJ and Will are teaming up for the Cowboys. Jamil, I'll let you take this one for the Chargers.
My problem with the Cowboys is the same thing that I've been saying for a while now, and it's that, yes, Dak Prescott is coming back, but this is the same team that had Dak Prescott last year for the first few games, and they only won off of a lucky game against the Falcons. Their problems are still the defense. It's not going to get consistent stops. DeMarcus Lawrence breaks his foot today. Who's even going to rush the passer to get at Justin Herbert? Are they going to move Micah Parsons or Jalen Smith more down into more pass rushing roles? Are they going to have Randy Gregory have a reassurance? Are they going to pick someone off the streets? I don't know. The secondary needs help. We saw what happened against the Bucs last week, and this is the team in the Chargers that impressed me last week. They went up against the Washington football team, and they handled that D-line. They were very, very dominant in that game. Justin Herbert had 300 yards. They ran an efficient offense. They really impressed me last week because I picked them to lose. And going up against the secondary against Dallas, I expect them to have their way again. We all know what happened last time Keenan Allen played this team on Thanksgiving 3 years ago. Absolutely destroyed them. And I think that can easily happen again here. Yes, Dak Prescott is going to have a good game. I think Ezekiel Elliott bounces back on offense, but I think the Chargers are going to put away too many points.
Yeah, I agree. It's all in the offense. The offense-defense mismatch, basically. I mean, you said it better than I could say it, of course, but I do think this is a game that Herbert can really flourish in. I think that he can throw all over the Cowboys secondary, and then Austin Eckler, who's supposed to be playing. I mean, it's a great second option if you want to run the ball. So I do think that they have the advantage when it comes to that. I think the Chargers defense is good enough to handle the Cowboys offense. I mean, Dak Prescott, he was good against the Bucs, who have a much better defense than the Chargers, but was it good enough? I don't think so, and I don't know if it's going to be good enough to beat the Chargers.
Let's talk some football, RJ. Why are we going with the Cowboys?
Because, look, everything they just said about Dallas's defense is absolutely correct. I'm pretty sure last week I said they should be sponsored by Sargento because their defense looks like Swiss cheese. Everything they said about that defense is absolutely correct. But Dak Prescott is going to put up stupid numbers, and Justin Herbert is going to put up good numbers. Now, look, last week I thought Philly-Atlanta would be a shootout, and it was a blowout. I think this game could be a shootout. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I agree with Jamil. Losing DeMarcus Lawrence today to a knee, that sucks. They're going to have to find more of a pass rush to get Justin Herbert off of his game a little. But at the end of the day, who are you going to take to score more points and, put on more of an offensive show? Dallas and that explosive offense that we saw in Tampa, or the Chargers who were struggling to beat Washington last week? Right now I'm taking Dallas. I think their offense is one of the toughest to stop in the entire league.
Yeah, dude. I thought Dallas looked great. Granted, they took the loss against Tampa, but I thought they looked amazing. Whenever I was watching that game, I was really intrigued by watching the Dallas offense. I thought they looked complete. Dak was doing what Dak wanted to do. Zeke was running the ball all right. And this is a great Tampa defense. I mean, this is an amazing Tampa defense, and the Chargers defense does not compete, and not even a little bit. It does hurt to lose DeMarcus Lawrence. Obviously, one of the what's the word I'm looking for? One of the good pieces of that defense, and so it is going to hurt them a little bit. But I think this is going to be a high scoring affair. I think this is going to be a back-to-back kind of game. I could see the Chargers pulling out with this one, but I just like the way Dallas looked week one. I thought they looked really good. It's still super early. We still don't really know identities of teams yet. But right now, I think the Cowboys at least impress me a little bit more on the offensive side of things, because I don't like either one of these teams' defenses to go on. Now, before we move on, the guy wants to know, do you start Zeke in fantasy this week against the Chargers?
100%. I'm just going to talk about it now. This is one of the guys I had stapled for a breakout game this week. People are tripping over Zeke in fantasy. When you drafted him, you saw they were playing the Bucs week one. This has been the best run defense for 3 to 4 years running now. They don't have Zach Martin against the Sue and Bay and the whole gang in Tampa, so I think it was pretty obvious he wasn't going to do great. And on top of that, they just abandoned the run altogether. They said, we're not going to run the ball good. Let's just pass. That's why Dak threw 55 times. And then this week, they're getting a Chargers team that got hit for 90 yards by Antonio Gibson. Zach Martin comes back. The Cowboys are going to run the ball this week, and Zeke's going to do good.
That's
Who
not
are they
a
going to run the ball with? Is it going to be Zeke or is it going to be Tony Pollard? Because every time Tony Pollard gets on the field, he looks like a better running back than Zeke.
I'm not sitting Zeke against the Chargers. You picked Zeke to play him. You're not sitting him against a team that just got popped off for 90 yards last week.
Well, all I can say to the guy is I hope you didn't draft him top 5 because there were definitely some better picks you could have had than Zeke.
That's 100%. And but that's fantasy advice, folks. from the new lead dog.
Oh man!
So anyway, I
That
can
never
throw.
gets old.
Listen,
Anyway,
if you're trying to trade Zeke in any league I'm in, I'm taking him off your hands.
news from the big dog. All right. Anyway, I can throw that photo in there. Great times. Is that it for separations? I think so. Yeah.
That's all we got.
This is a pretty straightforward week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's only like 4 or 5
Matt,
games.
you sure you don't want to pick the Giants, bro?
Listen, I do like what the Giants offense has to offer. Like, and they have tons of potential if healthy.
Oh, for sure.
Heineke now being quarterback for Washington is questionable. Obviously, he looked okay in what, the wild card game last year, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's his team now until further notice. I mean, Fitzpatrick's out, 6 to 8 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, he's got a hurt it. Broken up hip.
He's older.
y'all got no faith in Danny Dimes.
Absolutely not. If it's pointing to one reason why I should.
It's hard to have faith in someone like Daniel Jones just because he's never consistently proved himself.
And he went to Duke. I mean, how trash is that? Jesus
undefeated
Christ! I mean, let's go ahead and pick the
Washington.
low hanging fruit here. You go to Duke at football, you suck. I mean, come on now.
I think he's
the fact that
undefeated
he
with
got
Washington.
drafted as high as he did out of Duke was surprising to me. I won't lie. And maybe the Giants could have gotten a better pick. Actually, they definitely could have gotten a better pick looking back. But hindsight's 20. Quarterback.
This guy right here, not a big Duke guy.
Not a Duke guy.
Not a Duke guy.
No, not a big Duke guy there.
Not even a little Duke guy.
But no, I like the Giants. I don't trust their defense. And the Washington offense did look pretty good last week despite losing. So I do think they'll be able to take the victory.
Okay.
Justin's really out here. Justin said on YouTube that Joe Judge is the better coach, and on Facebook he said.
Yeah, no, this man's gonna make my blood pressure go through that roof. I'm sorry, Joe Judge is not the better coach in this matchup. How many coaches in the NFL right now have won Coach of the Year multiple times? It's a very, very short list, but Ron Rivera's on it. Ron Rivera took the Panthers to the playoffs more times than he missed the playoffs. I mean, he had to deal with a team that was rebuilding. He took over a team that went 2-14. He had quarterback with injuries. He had to deal with a Super Bowl hangover. Ron Rivera did have Cam Newton. You're right. And when Ron Rivera was the coach and Cam Newton was healthy, they made the playoffs more times than not. So, no, you give him a legitimate quarterback. He now has a legitimate team in Washington. Washington will be fine with the head coach position. Go get a quarterback, and that's all you need to worry about.
That poor man Ron Rivera has been dealt a poor hand out there.
You miss Ron Rivera without telling us you miss Ron Rivera.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely miss Ron Rivera. I do. I mean, the man coached through his house burning down, coaches through a cancer diagnosis. His quarterback almost dies in a car crash, still coaching. I mean, stop.
His other quarterback almost snapped his leg in half. Yeah. Oh, well. What can you do? Hey, Washington football team. All of us. Long story short. Ugh. Matt, who's getting this game?
You're going to pick the Jets?
Oof.
Oh, I guess I'm getting this game.
Yeah, pick the Jets. Come on.
Oh, eat me. No. The Jets were primed to be my new Raiders, but now that the Raiders have beat the Ravens, the Raiders are my new Raiders again. Shout out Raiders.
You're back in the Raiders wagon. Okay.
Yeah, back on them. You know,
I'm on that wagon too. I ain't gonna lie.
And to be fair, I did say that the Chargers were my new team that I was going to hype up, and I said, I'm sorry, Chargers fans, in advance, but they actually won. So shout out Chargers. I can't, which is crazy because I didn't take them this week. Anyway, yeah, I love my Chargers and stuff, but no, come on now, we're not taking the Jets. What are we doing here? Mac Jones looked decent. I mean, they didn't get a win, but he looked good. The defense did fine, holding Miami to 17. I think the defense is going to have a better week. I think that the Jets are bad. I think this guy's smoking a hell of a lot of crack with saying that Mac Jones is the next Tom Brady. The guy, if there's one thing you cannot put your house on, it's that. So yikes. No. Is he the next Tom Brady? Yeah, after 1 week taking an L to the Dolphins. Yeah, next Tom Brady. Great. No. Anybody have anything additional to add as to why
I would say, look, okay, so
wait a minute, RJ, can we get your famous line from last season as to why we're all taking New England?
Because they're playing the Jets. That's why. It's the Jets. Bill Belichick does not lose to rookie quarterbacks. I don't know if a rookie quarterback has actually ever beat Bill Belichick. Their record is very bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say the Jets should win this game simply because they are playing at home and the quarterback they are going up against is named McCorkle. You cannot lose to a guy named McCorkle.
Well, I think they are. So,
well, they're going to, but they shouldn't.
There you go.
Matter of fact, what's the line on that game? Because the Pats are actually going to blow the doors off the Jets, I think.
Jets +6.
The Jets plus six?
Yeah. They're getting 6
The Patriots will cover 6. So the guy you need a lock to bet your house on, bet him on your boy McCorkle to cover the 6 against the Jets.
That's a fair bet. I like that bet. Matt, we'll go to you. Denver, Jacksonville.
Well, okay, so I made this pick beforehand. I still think the Broncos are going to win, but obviously Jerry Jeudy being out is a big deal. Ronald Darby being out now is a big deal. But the Jaguars just didn't look good. I mean, Trevor Lawrence was yet to look really comfortable. Obviously, it was his debut, so that happens. But I do think he'll start settling in as games go by, and I think he'll look better than he did last week here against Denver. But Denver has a really good defense, and I don't think Lawrence is going to get that far, even if he looks comfortable. Like I said, losing Judy is a big deal. He's one of the main targets, but I do think that the Broncos will be able to pull it out. It shouldn't really be that challenging for them based on how they looked against the Giants. You know, you're facing a probably worse probably even worse defense than the Giants. I could be wrong. What do I know? But I'm going to go with, I think it was easy for the Broncos to take this one.
I'm about to address RJ because we all know he's our resident T-Law fan. But first, can we get a USF Bulls shout out?
No.
I don't know who this is.
I'll give you the fingers, but I'm not saying the words. Jamil won't even do that.
Are we going to beat FAMU?
Are we going to beat FAMU?
That's a great question.
I think we all took FAMU in the week 3 pick'ems of college football.
I don't know. We already lost halftime.
Hey, it's not great. But we do have to go to RJ here before we move on because this guy, we all know, is a huge touchdown Jesus guy. And we've got the Jags will go 0-16, and Trevor Lawrence is overrated. And Mac Jones is better than Trevor Lawrence. Okay. Keep it short.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Hey, that's all we need. Moving on. That's about as short as you can keep it.
Hey, if the Jaguars go 0-16, Urban Meyer's taking the USC job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tyler's saying Urban's already looking out for his next job in Pasadena. So, I mean, it sounds like we're not the only ones on that boat there. Congrats to Urban Meyer. And shout out to old coach Charlie Strong. You're doing great. Great first look. Let's move on. Let's move on to brighter times. Jamil, it's your turn. You get Buffalo this week.
Circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. No, in all seriousness, okay, we'll still got the wagon. That's a better looking wagon. There's no way it's the same one.
That's the same wagon.
No, that one looks better this week.
That's the same exact wagon.
No, it looks better this week.
What the fuck? That's the same.
Anyway, they look way better this week. Anyway, last week we all took the Bills, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was slightly hesitant on them last week, but I didn't want to say anything. They ended up losing. But I actually was hesitant on picking them.
But we have to pick the Bills.
This week. I think they're gonna circle the wagons. I think it's just as tough of a matchup defensively because the Dolphins' defense has some guys that can just flat out play. They got stud corners. They're gonna give that receiver room fits. But I think at the end of the day, they're gonna need. They can't start 0-2. You know, they got so much going for them this offseason, a lot of hype. You know, you see what's going on in that division. You got a chance to get up there with the Dolphins and go evens with them. You get a big division win. I think you need to pull it out this week. I think they'll be able to do it. I think Josh Allen should have a good game.
Anybody else? Any additional words on the Bills? No.
Circle the wagons.
Circle them, baby. Don't forget to circle them. I'll take this one. San Francisco at Philly. San Francisco put up a psycho amount of offense in week 1, but it was against Detroit, which is all fun and all, but they looked great. Debo Samuel was an animal, and I don't know if I can name somebody on the secondary of Philadelphia to keep up with Debo. If he was doing that to the young, fun corners that Jamil and I had so much fun talking about in the NFC North video, they're young and they're prime. They have to take time to mature and everything. The secondary members of the defense in Detroit, but I can't think of anybody in Philadelphia who's going to be able to keep up with Debo. I think it's going to be kind of an offensive explosion yet again. But I think you see the defense kind of step in a little bit more. The defense really kind of let up as the game went on. Jared Goff found his way back into it, and they're healthy, which is something, at least for now, which is something that my brother just mentioned. San Fran is a good team. Injuries ruined them last year. Absolutely. That is a four-headed monster out in the NFC West if everybody stays, in prime health. And then also my brother said Philadelphia was a surprise week 1. They are better. They are better than a lot thought. I don't even know if I'd say they're better than a lot thought. Who they play week 1? Atlanta.
Battle of the Birds.
Battle of the Birds. Yeah, I mean the Battle of the Birds. The defense of Atlanta is not that great. I mean the Eagles' defense looked good, but
they shut Matt Ryan down surprisingly.
This is Matt Ryan. That was also Matt Ryan's first game without Julio in his in what? How long? Multiple years. Well, at least I should say, for good. He's been injured or whatnot. But they lost a pretty big piece, and I think they look kind of rough. But I think the Eagles played well, but I still think San Francisco played better. I think they looked amazing, and I think they'll be a contender out there in that division if they can stay healthy. Shout out Justin, man. Justin, you're having a real fun time going up against everybody. This man said the Bills are going to go 0-2, and now he's saying that Jalen Hurts is going to go 2-0. Keep it up, Justin. You're doing great. He's also said the Eagles will win and Trey Lance comes in off the bench for the Niners. That'd be psycho, especially after they just dropped 45. But, hey, I've been wrong before. And apparently he's going to win it for Bama Nation. Congrats. I hope – you're wrong. We'll go to RJ, LA Rams, Indiana.
Man, I was thinking you were going to take this one, but then I remembered your boy Jared Goff doesn't play for the Rams anymore. Bro, this team looked very good. I get it. Chicago didn't look like they were hitting on much on Sunday Night Football, but the Rams are going to be the second best team in the NFC behind Tampa. Here's a team that made it deep into the playoffs last year with an awful quarterback. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for Goff. That dude straight up sucks. Now that they actually have a legitimate quarterback in Matthew Stafford, I think this Rams team is very dangerous. You've got all season to figure out your running back situation. Who's going to be the lead guy? Are you just going to rotate everyone in? That's fine. You've got the receivers. Your defense plays well. Carson Wentz is going to have to deal with number 99 in his face a lot. And for a guy who can't stay healthy, that's not a good it's not a good recipe. So with Matthew Stafford actually being on a coherent football team now and number 99 going to bully Carson Wentz for 60 minutes, I think the Rams might take this game pretty easily.
The got so short end of the stick with their schedule, bro.
Okay, before we go on to the comments, Indiana did get kind of screwed week 1 and week 2.
I'm looking at their schedule. Not only do they have those two games, they play the Titans, the Dolphins, and the Ravens.
Ooh.
It doesn't get any easier. For a team that has a whole new quarterback, a new system, you got to get up. You got to get accustomed to these things. Nope, they get back-to-back AFC West.
Yeah, what the hell? Why not?
Titans division game, Dolphins, Ravens.
At least they're both at home. They didn't have to travel out west.
That is true.
Yeah, they got to be smacked in front of their fans. It's great.
Well,
the guy, you've been fun, but you're kind of soft. Leave Goff alone. He has to play in Detroit. Don't leave Goff alone. That guy got to spend plenty of years in LA beforehand. And shout out Justin saying Goff straight up sucks. Yeah, he does. My brother, LA Rams are very good. Stafford for Goff is a steal. McVay is the new Belichick, or is he better? We will find out. Rams up, Michael Ferguson, shout out. And yeah. So I think that's pretty much straightforward. I think the Rams are, I think everybody's correct. I think the Rams were amazing. Shout out to the Bears. We looked awful. But the Rams already had the best defense with the potential to have a top 5 offense if they got a quarterback, and now they have a quarterback. So shout out to the Rams. They're going to be a dangerous team. We'll go down to Matt. Matt, Vegas versus Pitt. Why are we all going Pitt?
Well, it's more like why are we all not going Las Vegas? Because Las Vegas showed up to Monday Night Football. They kept up with the Ravens, which none of us really expected them to do. And a lot of parts of their game looked good.
Oh, no. Go back and watch that video last week.
RJ did say it'll be close.
RJ did say this game will not be a blowout.
That's right.
Well, besides RJ, and blowout, it doesn't have to be, not close, can be like 15, 20 points. But, or is that a blowout? I guess it's
I'd say 3 scores is a blowout.
Okay. Then, yeah. So RJ was right about the Raiders keeping up, and they were able to even get a victory in a close game, overtime win. Great for the confidence, but Pittsburgh's coming off a big win against the Bills, who we, of course, all expected. We all expected the Bills to win, right? So I know the Bills had some holding penalties and poor offensive line as well, but Pittsburgh was probably the better team on Sunday, and they are a good team. I think they're pretty balanced offensively and defensively, and I do think the Raiders will settle down a little bit. I wouldn't expect what they did week 1 every week. I just think that's unrealistic. So let's go to it.
I want to ask you, or go ahead, RJ.
My bad.
No,
so last year, if we're gonna continue our trends of doing what we did last year for this year, last year I was very critical of Drew Brees. Yes, he could still get the job done sometimes, but he was nowhere near what he was. Saints were good, but man, it just seemed like Brees wasn't there anymore. The Steelers, that's my team this year. Ben Roethlisberger, he can be 1-0. I don't care. If you watched that game, there were parts where Ben Roethlisberger looked like he was 87 years old. He looked slow, looked fat, and looked like he should have retired 3 years ago. This Steelers team has a very good defense. They've got weapons with running back, receiver, all that. It all falls on Ben Roethlisberger. And yeah, he may have played well enough to win week 1. Go look up his Pro Football Focus grade. He was awful. He wasn't good. And I don't think he's good anymore. I think he's going to be the reason that the Steelers don't accomplish what they could accomplish. Look, I should have took the Raiders in this game because the way they're flying high and the way Derek Carr was playing on Monday night, they can absolutely go to Pittsburgh and win this game. The only thing I don't like, that pass rush for Pittsburgh, they're going to get to Derek Carr, and I think that's going to be a problem, and that's going to be the deciding factor. But this is going to be another close game. I don't know if I'll ever pick the Raiders this year, but I'm going to tell you every Raiders game is going to be a close game.
Hey, well, I'll take it however I can get it. Jamil, I'll ask you. You're the only one who hasn't talked yet on this game. What defense do you think looked better week 1? Pitt against Buffalo or New Orleans against Green Bay?
That's a good question. I'm gonna go with Pitt because I think that the Bills have a more. I don't know.
They both looked outstanding.
I watched more of the Pittsburgh Bills game than I did of the Saints Packers game, so that's the only reason I was leaning towards Pittsburgh, just because that's what I saw more with my eyes. But what I saw on the stat sheet was very impressive by the Saints, but I saw more of the Steelers game.
I got you. We'll go through a couple comments. Joanne, Wednesday is usually my favorite day on C2C, but it's over the top tonight for GMs in the house on a Wednesday. What's better than that? Not a damn thing. That's why you're here.
Wagons getting circled, maybe.
Yeah, if we could circle
Maybe
some wagons,
table.
I'd have an amazing Sunday. Brother, Gruden is the Mad Hatter. Roethlisberger looked old. Is it a hot take to say that Vegas goes over 500 and makes the playoffs and the Steelers don't? Cleveland and Cincinnati in that division.
No, that's not a hot take at all. Absolutely not.
No.
The Raiders can absolutely make the playoffs, and I don't think the Steelers are going to make the playoffs.
I was praying that game ended tied so they could still find a way to go 8-8. But it looks like it won't happen, at least after this week. Mike Ferguson, RJ spitting straight fire. Totally agree with how Big Ben has fallen completely off a cliff, a la Thelma and Louise. There you go. And then John Gruden needs to be fired. Well, there you go. There's all types of different opinions. We're all over the place today. This is what happens when you do Pick'ems live. It's amazing. We'll move on to the next game. Jamil, you've got Houston at Cleveland. You got a layup. Go ahead.
Oh,
That's sure the Texans looked good last week, but let's get the Jaguars. The Cleveland Browns just went toe-to-toe with the Kansas City Chiefs, a game that we were split on, but I think we all agreed it was going to be a really, really good game. But at the end of the day, I wasn't going to pick against Pat Mahomes, and at the end of the day, Pat Mahomes got it done. But the Browns are right there with them. The Browns look like they're the second best team in the AFC right now, and they should be able to have their way with Houston on the ground and through the air. Odell Beckham's not playing. They don't need him to win this game. It's going to be the Nick Chubb and the Kareem Hunt show, if you ask me.
There is nobody who is in our comments more than Justin. He's such a great person in the lives. Quit smoking crack.
Okay.
No, come on now. Come on. You better be busting beans. That's terrible.
the Browns are actually the best team in the AFC.
Interesting.
Oh.
They were the better team against Kansas City for the entire game, and then their punter doesn't know how to punt a ball, and Baker throws a late pick. Cleveland looked better than Kansas City. They're straight up a better football team. Kansas City just has the better player in the most important position. Look, Cleveland's going to dismantle Houston. This is going to get ugly.
My brother said that's a hot take and gave you a flame emoji.
Flame
There you go. You got a flame. Mike says, "What question for y'all? What do you think is the better division, an AFC West or the NFC West?"
That's a good question.
The NFC West, because Teddy Trash Bridgewater isn't in the NFC West.
Hey, Teddy Trash is 1-0, man.
Teddy Trash played
Teddy
against,
Trash, what it
Teddy
all?
Trash played against Danny Dimes and the Duke quarterback. No, listen, stop.
And we're all predicting Teddy Trash to go Docino.
Y'all just let me talk. I almost picked Jacksonville to win that game too. There was a few here, but I'll let y'all keep going.
What about Tyrod Trash? He's not going 2-0?
That man's been through a lot. That dude.
That man's got a lot going on.
The team trainer's going to puncture his lung in a couple weeks and he's going to be out. Let's just let him chill.
God, that's horrible. Minnesota and Arizona, I'll take this one. Minnesota played a Bengals game way too close. And Arizona probably had the best offensive and the best defensive showing from a single person in that game. Kyler Murray looked like a god. Chandler Jones looked like he was having a career resurgence. The Cardinals looked absolutely outstanding. I thought they were going to play great. I think the NFC North really let a lot of people down in week one, especially the Vikings and the Packers. I know we all took the Vikings over the Bengals, and 3 of the 4 of us took the Packers over the Saints. They looked horrible. The best team out of the NFC North looked like the Detroit Lions after week one, which is not good. So I think Arizona walks away with this game pretty handily. I think this is going to be not necessarily. I think Arizona isn't going to be a blowout, but I think they could walk away with a 2-possession victory. And I think the Cardinals could be walking out of there 2-0. So we'll keep that game quick. Another game we could probably keep pretty quick. RJ, Atlanta at Tampa. Come on.
Did y'all see Atlanta play last week?
That's a good point.
That's ugly.
Moving on.
That was very ugly.
There isn't much more to say about that.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's it.
Come on. Here you go. Sunday Night Football, Matt, the Chiefs and the Ravens It goes to you. Why are we all going with the Chiefs, or why are you going with the Chiefs?
I know last week that I said the Browns and the Chiefs would be my game of the week, and it was a good game. I probably wasn't game of the week. I think there were better games there, especially Baltimore and Las Vegas. But yeah, I mean, I think it's somewhat of an easy pick for us to go with Kansas City. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if the Ravens took this one. They're still a good football team, but I just there was nothing about their game last week that really impressed me. Lamar fumbling isn't something you see every day, and then they had a couple errors that you don't want to see, even if it's week one. Those are things that can't happen. So I do think the Chiefs are a better football team than the Ravens. I don't think that's really in question, and I do think they'll look that way on Sunday as well.
Jamil, I gave you the hard question earlier. I'm going to give you the hard question again. Do we see another Lamar Jackson bathroom break?
No, we don't see Lamar.
Okay. Tough. I was hoping we would. But that brings us to Monday Night Football, which ends up in Jamil's hands. Detroit at Green Bay. All of us, though they only have 3 points, are going with Green Bay. Jamil, take us through it.
I think this is a perfect bounce back spot for this team. We just watched the Detroit Lions get destroyed defensively by the Niners. Their offense, came alive at the end, but I think this is a perfect bounce back spot for Green Bay. Home opener, crowd's going to be electric over there. I think Goff might struggle a little bit. He liked to use running backs last week. I want to see if that continues because they got the most usage out of anybody on that team. The running backs and Hawkinson, the receivers didn't do too much. So I want to see what they do on offense over there with that. But I think it's just going to be way too much Packers. I think Aaron Rodgers in the perfect get-right spot. Him and Devontae Adams should link up for 2 touchdowns in this game easily.
Fair enough. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is where that video is going to cut off. So we're going to cut it right there. But we are going to stay here live. We do still have about 8 more minutes. And typically, whenever Matt and I are the only 2 on here, we go into it in the final 4 minutes. But today, where there's 4 of us, so we have to go now. Damn it. Shit. Nope, wrong button. Let me get rid of everybody. Up there. I'm such a rookie. I don't know what the hell's happening. Get rid of that. There's a really cool screen behind us that says Final Four, I promise. But yeah, we got to go with the Final Four. That's how we always it's one of the closing things for every single show. So the Final Four today is week 2 is coming up for all of our fantasy players in there. We need 4 players set for a big week 2. Jamil, I know you already referenced one of your players earlier in Ezekiel Elliott. So because of that, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, obviously I mentioned Zeke off the top as a guy that should bounce back. I mentioned that until he gets that 90-yard rush against the Chargers, I think the Cowboys need to establish the run at some point with Zeke getting the ball, get him involved in the offense. I think he's one of them. But second one's going to be Derrick Henry. Very, very disappointed in what the Titans did last week on offense. So this week against the Seahawks, I think they need to go ahead and establish what they were good at last season, which was running the ball and play action passing. So I actually have 2. I have Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill. I think both of them need to step up this week for them to get a win against the Seahawks in a game that could be very high scoring because both defenses showing that they can struggle. So they need to get back to the roots of running the ball and play action passing for them to get a win and hook Matt up with a win on his island. And the last one I have is Najee Harris. He played almost every single snap against the Bills, struggled mightily against a very, very good defense. We just watched the Raiders defense get gashed by Tyson Williams for 9 carries for 65 yards. So I think if Najee can get the ball between 15 and 20 times, he should be able to have his way with the Raiders.
Perfect. Matt, welcome back. That's why we go single. Nobody even knows. It's all great. So we've got his Final Four that are set to break out. RJ, we'll throw it over to you. Give me 4 players primed for a big week 2.
Well, let's see. I'm going to start with Kareem Hunt. He played a ton, honestly. He played a lot more than I thought he was going to play. Against Kansas City last week, looked very good. I think this week, again, it's going to be a lot of first half points, fantasy points, that is. Because the second half, I don't think the starters for Cleveland are going to play much because I think it's going to be a blowout. But no, I really these comments are killing me. I'm sorry. I love it. I'm loving reading these comments. Anyway. Yes, Kareem Hunt is going to be very good because Houston is garbage. Mike Evans is going to have a bounce-back game. I think with the Bucs and their receivers, because they have so many weapons, It's going to be 1 week AB pops off, 1 week Godwin pops off, 1 week Evans pops off. I just feel like it's going to be Mike Evans this game. I hope it is. He's on my fantasy team. I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit. Aaron Rodgers, he's going to have a bounce-back game. He doesn't lose to Detroit. It's Monday Night Football. If he doesn't look good 2 weeks in a row after spending an entire offseason hosting Jeopardy and going on vacation with his, actress girlfriend, that's a problem. That's a lot of question marks, and I think he knows he needs to bounce back this week. Honestly, I didn't have a fourth one. I could probably come up with one, but I'm just loving reading these comments.
Hey, give me your favorite one so far. I can see my shout out to my dad and my brother both giving me hell.
Yeah. I love you getting roasted because you do produce a TV show.
My brother said this must be your first day. Thanks.
Michael talking about the box of tissues next to Matt's bed.
So
you want to talk about rookies? You want to talk about rookies, man?
No.
You got to move the box.
Hey, listen. I was actually when I was dipping in and out while Jamil was
thought he wasn't going to have pants on. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually shocked.
But most times I don't. But hey, what I was doing while Jamil was talking, I was trying to screen capture my screen to get a screenshot of that comment, just because that's an elite comment, Michael, and I thank you for that. It's a good eye. These are fresh, dude. This is high quality shit. So it's going to be in the back, and you guys are going to look at it. So I mean, when you got something this good, you got to put it on the spot.
Wow.
My brother thinks you don't want to talk about it.
I wouldn't want to talk about it either.
Oh my goodness!
And Michael also said you don't have to explain.
Oh my!
We're all with you. Michael said it best. We've all been there.
Oh my gosh!
And no, Dad, I don't produce a TV show. Leave me alone. I haven't produced in months, so hey, leave me alone. Tissues. Do you have any? Any Matty Stats? Call up Matty Stats and see what he says about some players set to break out this week. Oh God, what if somebody answered?
Yeah, it's time to get out of here.
Okay, I'm feeling Joe Burrow against the Bears secondary. I mentioned that already.
Hate you.
He'll be good. Justin Herbert, I like him. Sterling Shepard got hella targets, hella receptions last week. I think he'll do the same against the Washington football team when they lose. And Elijah Mitchell, the new running back in San Francisco, now that Mostert's out for the season again, another injury, shocker. He's going to take over. He looked pretty good week 1, so I'm looking for more from him.
Hey, I was right there with you on Elijah Mitchell. That was actually my number 4 that I had written down here. Somebody I mentioned earlier, Debo Samuel. I think Debo Samuel is going to be given hell to the Eagles defense. I think it's going to be tough for them to kind of keep up. Somebody who had a big week 1 and I think is destined for another big week 2 is Melvin Gordon. I really like Melvin Gordon, especially now that Jerry Jeudy's gone down. I think they're going to have to work in Melvin Gordon a little bit, just a little bit more. I think you could see a little bit more of Williams this week too, just to see a little bit of some shout out UNC, Roll Tide, or not Roll Tide. What the fuck? I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. We've all been there. No, we haven't. All right. I don't know why I said Roll Tide. All right. I don't want to talk about it. But and the fourth guy I wanted to mention is T. Higgins. T. Higgins, I think, is if there's going to be somebody from this Bengals team that's going to eat up the secondary, I think it'll be him. I think the Bears are going to put in a bit. I think you're going to see Jalen Johnson a bit on Jamar Chase or Tyler Boyd a little bit. And I think that slot guy is going to find himself with quite a bit of receptions. I think T. Higgins is set to go off, probably catch a touchdown or two and get one of those big plays. And the guy says the tissues are bound to have a big week too. This is tough. I don't know. All right. Before we go,
Jamil is checked out. He's done.
Hey, Jamil. The guy says the tissues are having a big week too.
Oh, I see it.
Okay, good.
He's done. He's over this.
All right. What's a better live meme? Is it Matt with the tissues or Jamil with the twins? What is happening?
Okay, that was never a thing.
It was.
That was never a thing.
If this is your first time being on this live and you don't know about Jamil and the twins,
those were myths.
Wait.
Why is he eating a tissue?
He just ate a tissue.
Is he pulling a Jameis?
I figured before, yeah, fucking. Oh.
He's eating it.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm done. No, I'm done.
I wouldn't eat those.
Yeah, you gotta log off.
I don't know where he's been.
We're gonna get banned from this network.
Jamil had twins anyway.
Okay. I know one pair of twins and they're males. I was not at any baseball of any twins.
Go.
We goated. Jamil's the goated. Jamil had twins, and everybody. That's why Jamil is the lead dog.
Okay.
Anyway, Jamil, you're lead dog for a reason. Oh God, we got to get the hell out of here. I don't even think we have.
Next Terrell Owens. No, okay.
All right. On that one, peace. What the hell is happening? Everybody's having a panic attack. We gotta go. Everybody, call your mom, tell her you love her because the world's coming to an end.
Did you watch Theo play?
I don't. What the is going on? I gotta go.